The story opens on the colony of Nova Astra, a serene human settlement nestled on the edge of the known galaxy. The sky above is a tapestry of unfamiliar stars, with two suns casting a golden glow over the thriving community. The settlers, a mix of farmers, scientists, and engineers, work diligently to build a new future for humanity. Children laugh and play, their voices mingling with the hum of advanced machinery that sustains the colony. Suddenly, a chilling silence falls over Nova Astra as an ominous shadow sweeps across the landscape. The settlers gaze upward, their faces pale with fear as Xatharii warships pierce the atmosphere. These sleek, menacing vessels, crafted from an unfamiliar alloy that seems to absorb light, hover ominously above the colony. The once peaceful skies now pulse with the eerie blue glow of the invaders' engines. An ear-splitting siren wails, cutting through the stillness and sparking panic. Colonists scramble for cover, some heading for underground bunkers while others arm themselves with whatever weapons they can find. The air is thick with tension, the quiet before the storm as everyone braces for the inevitable. Amid the chaos, a voice echoes in Lina Torres's mind, a voice from the past. It's the voice of Elias Musk, the man whose vision gave humanity the stars. A brief flashback shows Musk standing at a podium, addressing a crowd of pioneers eager to venture beyond Earth. "We are not bound by Earth's gravity, nor by the limitations of our own making," Musk declares, his eyes alight with the fire of unyielding ambition. "The stars are just the beginning. Beyond them lies our destiny. Together, we will reach for the Elysium beyond." His words inspire not just the crowd but generations to come. Musk's innovations in space travel and terraforming allowed humanity to settle distant worlds, including Nova Astra. However, his greatest project, the Elysium Protocol, remains a legend. A final, unfinished blueprint that could elevate humanity to unparalleled heights. Lina, a young and determined member of the Stellar Vanguard, stands on the front lines of Nova Astra's defense. She is tall and athletic, with piercing green eyes and a resolve that mirrors the steel in her voice. Her uniform, marked with the Vanguard's insignia, is battered but well-maintained, a testament to her readiness for battle. In her hand, she clutches a small, worn medallion engraved with Musk's famous quote, "The stars are just the beginning." It was a gift from her parents, who were among the first to believe in Musk's vision and played a key role in developing early terraforming technology. They perished in a colony accident when Lina was a child, leaving her with a burning desire to honor their memory and Musk's legacy. As the Xatharii ships descend, Lina takes a deep breath, steeling herself. She turns to the colony's defenders, a ragtag group of settlers turned soldiers. Their faces reflect a mix of fear and determination, looking to Lina for leadership. A voice crackles over the comms, breaking Lina's focus. It's Commander Huxley, the seasoned leader of the Vanguard, his voice laced with urgency. "Torres, we've got incoming on all fronts. We need to hold them off until reinforcements arrive. Prepare for engagement." Lina acknowledges the command, her grip tightening on her rifle. But deep down, she knows the reinforcements might never come. The Xatharii's superiority in technology and firepower leaves little room for hope. Just then, her personal comm device beeps, a secure channel only known to a select few. Lina hesitates, glancing at the encrypted message. Her heart skips a beat as she deciphers the source, Elias Musk. The message is short, cryptic, and hauntingly familiar: "Elysium awaits." Coordinates attached. Lina's mind races. Could this be the key to the Elysium Protocol? Is it a coincidence, or has Musk's vision reached out from the past to guide them in their darkest hour? The fate of humanity might rest on the shoulders of a man long gone but never forgotten. With the coordinates burned into her mind, Lina looks up at the advancing Xatharii forces. She knows she faces an impossible battle, but the glimmer of hope tied to Musk's message gives her the strength to stand tall. She must decide, trust in the unknown and seek out Musk's final gift, or stay and fight with the odds stacked against them. The scene fades as Lina gives the order to hold the line, her eyes betraying the conflict within, a battle between duty and destiny. Lina Torres stood in the Stellar Vanguard's command center, her face tense as she presented the coordinates from the mysterious message. The room fell silent as Commander Huxley, the grizzled leader of the Vanguard, scanned the encrypted data. "Elias Musk's last project," Huxley murmured, his voice low. His eyes were hard, worn from years of leading a fleet against the Xatharii invaders. "It's a long shot, Torres. But we're running out of options." The room remained still as everyone absorbed the weight of the situation. The Xatharii forces were closing in on Nova Astra, and if they couldn't find something to counter their overwhelming technological advantage, humanity was doomed. Finally, Huxley nodded. "You have my approval," he said, his tone grim but resolute. "Assemble your team and move quickly." Lena's pulse quickened. This was their last chance. She turned and quickly headed to the hangar, where the Ascendant, a sleek exploration vessel, awaited. Her heart pounded with the realization that they were about to embark on a mission no one else had dared take, seeking out the mysterious Elysium Protocol, the final, unfinished project of the legendary Elias Musk. As Lena walked through the hangar, she gathered the chosen crew, each person handpicked for their expertise. Dr. Mira Patel, a brilliant scientist and expert on Musk's early technologies, adjusted her glasses as she prepared for the journey. She was eager, almost feverishly so, to uncover the secrets Musk had left behind. Captain Darius Cole, a seasoned pilot who had seen more battles than most men, leaned against the wall with his arms crossed. His skepticism was evident in the furrow of his brow. "If this goes south," Darius said, "don't say I didn't warn you." Lena gave him a determined look. "We don't have a choice, Cole." Then there was Sergeant Raul Vega, a tech specialist with a sharp mind and a rebellious streak. He grinned as he ran his fingers over the ship's control panel, eager to explore the vast unknown that Musk had left behind. "Let's make history," Vega said with a wink, his enthusiasm infectious. With the crew assembled and ready, the Ascendant launched into the starry void, leaving Nova Astra behind. But just as they were about to enter the warp gate, a series of alarms blared. Vega's voice cracked through the comms, his fingers frantically typing into the console. "Sabotage," he shouted, his eyes wide with alarm. "Someone's trying to disable the ship." The crew sprang into action. With quick precision, they traced the source of the interference. Someone inside the Vanguard had attempted to sabotage their mission. The perpetrator was caught, but the act of betrayal weighed heavily on the crew. If someone was willing to destroy the mission from within, could they truly trust anyone on this journey? Lena's eyes narrowed. "Whoever it was, they don't want us finding Musk's station." After securing the ship and the saboteur, the team made their escape, barely evading the incoming fire from the Xatharii warships closing in on Nova Astra. The Ascendant's engines roared to life, and Captain Cole steered the ship into a series of evasive maneuvers, the stars blurring around them as they blasted into deep space. The tension inside the ship was palpable. Vega leaned over the comms, relaying the calculations for their warp jump, while Mira looked out the window, eyes filled with wonder and fear. The crew was just beginning their journey into the unknown, and every second felt like a ticking clock. As they entered the warp, the vast expanse of space stretched out before them. Days passed in the isolation of the cold, endless void, the crew navigating through abandoned human outposts. These once thriving stations now lay in ruin, signs of humanity's past attempts to colonize the stars. Each outpost was a haunting reminder of the stakes. Some stations had been destroyed in the wake of Xatharii attacks, while others simply went silent, swallowed by the darkness. In one derelict station, the crew discovered a journal, its pages yellowed with age. The last entry read, "Musk's vision, our last hope." Lena's heart skipped a beat. It felt like the universe was guiding them to something greater than just survival. But there was no time for nostalgia or sentiment. They pressed on. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they arrived at the coordinates provided by Musk's message, a hidden research station orbiting a dying star. The Musk research station loomed ahead, its design a marvel of human ingenuity fused with Musk's signature flair for innovation. The station seemed to hum with the remnants of a legacy, a vision long abandoned by time. Inside the station, the air was stale, as though the building had been frozen in a moment from the past. The walls were lined with advanced technologies that had long since been outdated by the Xatharii. But still, there was a sense of reverence here, a sense that this place was more than just a station, it was the last hope of humanity's future. They moved through the halls, following the trail of Musk's research, until they found it, the Elysium Protocol. Mira gasped as she scanned the data on her tablet. It's a genetic enhancement," she whispered. "It's designed to evolve human beings rapidly, tailored to survive anything, to push humanity beyond its current limits." Lena's breath caught. The implications were staggering. If activated, the protocol could ensure humanity's survival in the face of extinction. It could create a race of humans capable of matching or even surpassing the Xatharii. But not everyone was convinced. Darius Cole, his face tight with concern, crossed his arms. "What happens if it goes wrong? We could lose everything, our humanity, our identity. What if this makes us something else entirely?" The crew was torn. The promise of survival against the Xatharii and the collapse of human civilization was within reach, but at what cost? They debated, tensions rising with every passing hour. Some, like Mira, argued passionately that the risks were worth taking. Others, like Darius, questioned if they could live with the consequences. And then, just as the crew reached a boiling point, Raul Vega's voice cut through the noise. Guys, you might want to take a look at this." On the station's main monitors, an alert flashed, Xatharii patrol detected. The time for debate was over. They were no longer in control of their fate. A new urgency gripped the crew as they scrambled to prepare the station's defenses. Vega worked feverishly to get the station's automated systems online, while Lena's mind raced. The choice was clear: activate the Elysium Protocol and risk everything, or destroy it and face certain annihilation by the Xatharii. "We came this far," Lena said, her voice resolute. "We trust in Musk's vision, or we die trying." With the Xatharii closing in, the crew made their final decision. There was no turning back now. The countdown to activation was nearing zero. The Xatharii patrols were drawing closer, their dark ships circling the outer edges of the station's defenses. Lena Torres stood in the heart of the research facility, her breath steady despite the chaos that surrounded her. Mira Patel continued to analyze the data, her fingers trembling as they hovered over the tablet. "This is it, Lena," Mira said, her voice filled with awe and fear. "This is Musk's final gift, humanity's last hope. But we need to activate it now or risk everything." Lena's gaze fixed on the ancient console, a relic of Musk's genius. The Elysium Protocol was a potential miracle for the human race, but it was also a Pandora's box, a dangerous experiment that could either save them or wipe them out completely. The decision wasn't just scientific, it was personal. Lena could feel the weight of every choice they'd made so far. The sabotage attempt, the mounting distrust within the crew, the fear that had now turned into desperation. But this was it. They couldn't afford to wait any longer. Behind her, Captain Darius Cole paced, his brow furrowed with a mixture of concern and disbelief. "We don't even know what activating this will do. We could lose ourselves, lose everything Musk was trying to protect." Lena turned to face him, her expression hardening. "If we don't activate it, we lose everything anyway. The Xatharii will finish what they started. Our species won't survive another decade, let alone a century." Raul Vega, the tech specialist, hunched over the console, his fingers flying across the keys as he tried to access the final layers of the station's locked-down systems. Come on," he muttered under his breath, frustration evident in his voice. "I need a few more seconds. The Xatharii ships are getting too close." Lena's pulse quickened as the seconds ticked away. The sounds of the Xatharii fleet resonated in the distance, a menacing reminder of the odds stacked against them. Time was running out. Suddenly, the station's emergency alarms blared. Vega's eyes shot wide open. "They've found us. The Xatharii are here. We have to make a choice, now." With a sharp intake of breath, Lena made the call. "Activate the protocol," she commanded. Mira wasted no time. She rushed to the central terminal and input the final sequence. A series of lights flickered as the system hummed to life. A deep, resonating sound echoed throughout the station, as though the very foundation was awakening. The Elysium Protocol was active. For a moment, everything seemed to freeze. Then, as the station's lights dimmed, a wave of energy surged through the facility. The walls trembled, and the entire research station seemed to pulse with an unseen power. "We've done it," Mira whispered, her face pale with a mix of triumph and fear. But before anyone could respond, an explosion rocked the station, sending them all tumbling to the ground. The lights flickered wildly as emergency sirens blared once more. The Xatharii were inside. Through the chaos, Lena barely heard the crackling voice of Darius Cole. "We need to go now." Lena pushed herself to her feet. She saw the flashing red lights of the Xatharii battle units closing in on their location, their weapons already aimed at the heart of the station. The countdown had just begun. "Everyone, to the shuttle!" Lena barked, urgency in her voice. The crew rushed through the corridors, their steps heavy with the weight of the decision they had just made. As they reached the Ascendant, the shuttle was already under attack. The Xatharii soldiers had breached the station's inner sanctum, and now, the shuttle was their only escape route. They fought their way to the ship, dodging blasts and returning fire as they moved swiftly toward the docking bay. Vega hacked into the shuttle's systems, bypassing security protocols to get the ship operational. "Hurry up!" Darius shouted, gunfire ringing in his ears as the Xatharii closed in. "We can't hold them off forever." Finally, the shuttle doors slammed shut. Vega hit the ignition, and the Ascendant shot into space, narrowly avoiding the incoming missiles from the Xatharii fleet. The ship swerved and dipped, the stars ablur as they hurtled toward open space. Lena's heart pounded in her chest as she looked back at the station, which was now a glowing beacon of destruction, the Xatharii forces swarming it like locusts. The station was lost, but the Elysium Protocol was now active, and humanity's future had been irrevocably altered. As the Ascendant streaked through the darkness of space, the crew remained silent, their minds heavy with the consequences of their actions. The destruction of the station weighed on them, but the knowledge that they had activated the Elysium Protocol brought a sense of uneasy victory. Lena sat in the command seat, staring out at the stars. The mission had succeeded, but at what cost? The Xatharii had only been delayed, and the human race was not out of danger yet. The road ahead was uncertain, and there were too many questions unanswered. "We did it," Mira said quietly, her voice distant. "But, what now?" Lena exhaled slowly, her eyes never leaving the view ahead. "Now, we rebuild. Musk's vision will be our guide." But deep within her, a seed of doubt had begun to grow. They had activated the Elysium Protocol, a process that could evolve humanity beyond recognition. What if the changes weren't just physical? What if the very essence of what it meant to be human was lost in the process? She couldn't answer those questions yet. But the one thing she knew for certain was this: humanity was no longer at the mercy of the Xatharii. They had a chance to survive, and with Musk's legacy, they had the opportunity to rise once again. The journey had just begun. As the Ascendant drifted silently through space, the remnants of the destruction they had narrowly escaped lingered in the minds of the crew. The station they had once called a sanctuary now burned in their wake, a fiery reminder of what had been lost. The Xatharii, relentless as ever, would not give up easily. But the crew had done something they never thought possible: they had secured humanity's future, or so they believed. Lena Torres stood at the bridge, her fingers wrapped tightly around the rail as the stars stretched before her. She could still feel the pulse of the Elysium Protocol in her veins, an energy that had begun to settle deep within her. It was subtle, at first, but undeniable. A sensation like electricity running just beneath her skin, like her mind was expanding with new possibilities. She had no idea if it was the protocol itself or if it was just the weight of what they had just done. Beside her, Captain Darius Cole leaned against the wall, his arms crossed as he looked out into the void. "We're running blind, Lena. No plan. No guarantee that this will work the way Musk intended." Lena glanced at him. There was a new hardness to his voice, less skepticism, more quiet fear. "I know. But we didn't have a choice. We couldn't let the Xatharii take everything." Darius was silent for a moment, his gaze distant. "But at what cost? What if we've unleashed something we can't control? Something worse than the Xatharii?" Lena didn't have an answer. The truth was, she wasn't sure. They had followed Musk's legacy without fully understanding it, without fully grasping the consequences. But she had to believe they were doing the right thing. Mira Patel entered the bridge, her face pale, but her eyes alight with an unsettling energy.
Lena, I've been studying the data. The Elysium Protocol, it's already beginning to alter us.
The changes are subtle at first, but there's no mistaking it. Lena turned to her, fear creeping into her voice.
What kind of changes? Mira swallowed hard. I'm not sure yet, but I feel it too. It's like something inside me has shifted, like I'm seeing the world differently. Understanding it differently. It's overwhelming. Lena's heart raced.
This was it, the first signs that Musk's final gift to humanity wasn't just a weapon, it was a transformation.
A mutation. But what would it mean for them? For all of humanity?
Before she could ask more, Raul Vega entered the room, his face flushed with excitement.
Lena, you need to see this. We're picking up an unusual signal, a distress signal, coming from an uncharted system. It's human, at least, it sounds human.
But it's strange.
There's something off about it. Lena's pulse quickened. Could it be a survivor? Vega shook his head. I don't know. But the signal is almost identical to the one Musk was tracking before everything went silent. It could be connected to the Elysium Protocol, maybe someone else has activated it too. The implications were staggering.
If this signal was tied to the Elysium Protocol, it meant they weren't alone in this transformation.
And if others had activated it before them, what could they be facing now?
Set a course for the signal, Lena ordered.
We need answers.
The crew moved quickly, setting a course for the uncharted system. As the Ascendant engaged its engines, Lena couldn't shake the feeling that they were heading into something far bigger than they could have ever imagined. The mission that had started as a desperate gamble for survival had now become something else, something more. As the days passed, the crew adjusted to the new normal.
The subtle changes continued, each one more pronounced than the last. It was clear now that the Elysium Protocol wasn't just a tool, it was a catalyst, a force that was reshaping them in ways they couldn't yet fully comprehend. Lena found herself waking with strange clarity.
Her mind was sharper than it had ever been, her thoughts more focused.
But there was something unsettling about it. Something unnatural. She could feel herself drifting away from the person she once was. The questions that had plagued her before, the doubts, the fears, seemed distant now, insignificant. She felt more connected to the universe, as if she could see the threads of fate stretching out before her. But the human part of her, the part that had once feared change, had started to recede. Mira was the first to speak openly about it. We need to figure out what's happening to us, Lena. I'm starting to hear things, whispers in my head. Sometimes I feel like I can understand things I never could before. It's like everything is aligned. But at the same time, it feels wrong.
Darius, on the other hand, remained distant. He kept his thoughts to himself, but Lena could see the unease written all over his face. He no longer questioned their decisions, but there was a quiet fear in his eyes, fear that whatever they had unlocked could be more dangerous than the Xatharii. Vega, ever the optimist, was both excited and scared.
This is what Musk wanted, right? Humanity evolving beyond its limits. I don't think we should be afraid. We're becoming something more. But Lena wasn't so sure anymore.
She could feel the Elysium Protocol, its energy was growing, spreading through her body like fire, and she could sense it in the others as well. It was subtle, but powerful. Every step she took felt like a step away from who she had been. Her connection to the crew was still there, but there was an unspoken distance now. It was as if the protocol was not only transforming their biology but their very identities. As the crew neared the source of the distress signal, Lena's mind wandered back to the station they had left behind. They had activated the Elysium Protocol, and humanity's future was forever changed. There was no turning back now. The system they were heading toward was an isolated cluster of planets, long abandoned after humanity's first attempts to colonize them had failed. No one knew much about this system, but the signal they were tracking had been unwavering.
It was a desperate cry for help, a call that was both familiar and foreign.
Lena's hand hovered over the ship's controls, her heart pounding in her chest.
What awaited them at the source of this signal? Would it be salvation, or the next chapter in their transformation? The Ascendant glided closer to the unknown system, the unknown waiting just ahead.
The future of humanity was now in their hands, but as they approached, a nagging thought gnawed at Lena's mind. Had they truly secured their future, or had they set in motion a chain of events they would never be able to stop?